Hey, it's Christy Gothrow, your storytelling coach, and I am here today to talk to you about your story making history. Um, there is so much going on, right? So much going on, history being made. 2020 is the year for history book recordings, right? There's a lot going on, and I feel like, and I've been discussing this with some people, that and all of what's going on is distracting us from some things that should be just as important, not discounting any of the things that have taken place in 2020 thus far. But I am here to let you know that your story is supposed to be a part of this history. Okay, that is simply what I want to talk to you about today. Your part of this history making thing that's going on. You're part of the story. A lot of times we get caught up in what everyone else is doing. Reality TV is like, that's what's hype, right? Reality TV is a thing. The media is blasting everything that's going on. And we're so focused on those things that we have forgotten about what we're supposed to be doing, what our personal agendas are according to what God has told us to do for the 2020. Um, and so before I get into everything, I want to tell y'all a quick story. And I'm not sure if you read the description, but in the description, I put in there about the guy with disability at the pool of Bethesda. And if you don't know the story, I'll give you a quick rundown. So there's this pool that they call it the pool of Bethesda, and there were cripples or people with disabilities that would sit around this pool waiting on an angel to come through the day, stir up the water, get the waters going, and then they would get in the pool and receive their healing. Right? That's how the story goes. Well, there was one guy there, had been there 38 years, like chilling, waiting on someone to show him favor so he can get in that pool and get his healing. And I tell you that story because that's how we are a lot of times. We are getting caught up in our situations and then waiting on that favor to come from someone else. Let me get back to the story. And so he's there waiting, and Jesus comes by. And Jesus is like, so I see you sitting here waiting, pretty much, right? Are you going to get your healing today? And the guy responds, well, I've been waiting on someone to help me get in. Like, I've been waiting on somebody to put me in the pool, but I haven't had any help. I haven't had that right person come along to show me the favor to kind of get me in there so I can get the thing that I need, so that I can not be crippled anymore and I can be healed from this disability and therefore change my life and change my story. And Jesus is like, I heard all that. Go ahead, get up, first step, pick up your mat, second step, and then walk off, third step. I know sometimes we read stories in the Bible and we just read them and we just like scroll on by, go to the next one, right? Or you hear somebody preach it and they get their own revelation. But in this story, I want you to specifically see that this guy had been waiting on favor from a person, someone else, right? Waiting on someone else to get up and be about his business, to get up and be who he was created to be. Because God didn't create him to be disabled. And so he didn't know, which is a lot of places where people are right now. They don't know where to go and who to call and how to get out of a situation. But in this story, I'm showing you it's all about who to seek, right? And this is the main reason why Jesus came. So Jesus gave him a word, and it was a word of action. He didn't just say, okay, so look, wrap your arm around my neck, I'm going to put you in. He didn't say, hey guys, calling the disciples, come over here and help me put this guy in the pool. He didn't do that. Jesus gave him a word for him to do it himself. I think we get caught up a lot of times, and Christians do, in the whole I'm going to pray about it, or I'm going to seek the prayers of my friends, or I'm going to just have faith. And then you forget that when the word comes or when the directions come to change your story, that it's going to come with some action. And so when I put in there your story making history, like I said, I'm not discounting from whatever is going on in the world. That's not it. But what is going to be your part of the story that's going to make history? Now, granted, you may not end up in a history book. I'm not saying all that. You may not have a video that someone keeps 20, 30, 50 years down the road and they can show to their grandkids. I'm not saying that. But you do have kids, or you will have kids, and you will have grandkids, and you will have great great grandkids. And so, in knowing just that and being responsible to your family first and being responsible to God, what history are you making for them? Because your very move, or not a move, can stop generations to come and getting to where they need to be. And it comes with you following directions and then putting actions with those steps. Um, One thing that I wrote down, it says someone has to record what you're doing so that others will see and know who God was to you and who God is to you. And so I'm always talking about writing, because that's my thing. I'm always talking about telling stories because that's my thing, right? It may not be your thing, but whatever your story is and whatever your thing is, I'm going to need you to seek God's word on it. Not wait on somebody else to come pick you up and take you there. Not wait on someone else to come and grab you by the arm, right? Not wait on a rally or a community of people to come and gather you up and say, all right, I'm going to do it for you. But asking God first for that word. Now, will that word sometimes come through people? Of course. Will that word sometimes come through situations? Of course. But it is first seeking the right place in order to get the steps to take. Jesus came, gave steps, and okay, so it didn't take him 3 years to get up from by that pool. Jesus said, get up, pick up your mat, and walk off. Just in case you missed me a minute ago, Jesus did not grab the disciples and say, hey, y'all, let's pick him up and put him in. He gave him steps to take. And I believe that he gave him those steps to take so that people could see the glory of the Lord. That's why I just said someone has to record what's going on in your life so that others can see how God showed up for you, so that others can see the glory of God in whatever your platform is, whatever situation you're supposed to come out of, whatever that thing is that God is giving you and your purpose. It is for you to do it because God is holding you accountable, but at the same time, your family is going to be waiting to know your history. In years to come, your obedience to doing what God told you to do, those steps he gave you to take, are going to be history. It's up to you what part of history you're trying to make. It's up to you what legend you want to leave behind, what stories you want your great grandkids to know about, and not just your family. You should think about your family, even if if you're one of those people who's not caught up in what's going on in the world and you are focused on your family. What will they know about you? What will they know God did for you? I know a lot of times we're like, oh yeah, I got a testimony. Ooh, God has done so much. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Are your great grandkids going to know about it? Because I'm telling you now, if you don't make moves to start recording some things, and I don't mean you have to get on a video, but start putting some things in place that's going to solidify and concrete what you're doing so that God's glory sticks, so that your story makes history to give him the glory, because your story should be giving him glory. If you don't start putting action towards those steps that he gives you, then you'll have no history to leave behind, right? That's important. And it's not about, well, I'm leaving a story behind to make history with the world and go down in the books and the Guinness books and the textbooks. And yeah, it's not all about that. Are you going to be obedient and follow the directions that God gives you so that your story makes history of his glory in your life and on your behalf? I'm just saying. We got to get over what everybody else is doing. And we got to get over waiting on somebody else to come and swoop us up. Wait on somebody else to come and, be that Calvary. God is your Calvary. We making history right now, y'all. The world is making history right now. And so you can't be so distracted and caught up in what everybody else's history is going to be and what everybody else's story is, and forget about the one that God gave you. I'm going to let y'all sit on that for a second. Your story is for God's glory, and you need to start putting it into play. Stop sitting on the side waiting on somebody else. Because sitting on the side waiting on somebody else is not being obedient to the directions God gave you. Now, let me just go ahead and further this. When the guy got up, this is how I'm going to prove to you that your story is for the glory of God. When the guy got up from by the pool, because Jesus said, get up, he didn't even just leave it at, hey, get up. He didn't just say, get up and walk off. He said, hey, pick your mat up. Let me explain to you why he told him to pick his mat up. First of all, he is doing this on the Sabbath. The Sabbath is a holy day. You should not be carrying a thing. You should not be moving anything, building anything, carrying anything, sir. You can walk around if you want, but you better not be carrying anything. The fact that Jesus told him to get up wasn't just it, but carry a mat. You know why I want you to carry your mat? Because I'm going to need these people up in here to know God did something up in here. Pick that mat up and walk off. So when he picks the mat up and walks off, the Pharisees like, hey, what you doing? Why you carrying that mat? They did not say, why are you healed? They did not say, hey, you finally got up from by that pool, probably because they didn't even know he had been sitting by the pool. They were like, why are you carrying that mat? He was like, cause the Lord said, I was healed, I can get up, and walk off or whatever. Didn't go into details. He didn't even know who it was. Like, he didn't say Jesus said. And no, he didn't even say Jesus said, y'all. The guy simply followed the directions Jesus gave him. Didn't even realize it was Jesus giving him the directions. So he took the word, he received the word, and he moved on the word. That's what got him up. He took it, received it, undoubtedly believed it, and got up and did something, right? He's carrying this mat. It didn't say he was shouting on the rooftops what Jesus had done, because like I said, he didn't know it was Jesus at the time. He wasn't shouting from the rooftops, I am healed. He was simply following directions. Pick your mat up, walk. Got up, picked his mat up, walked. And here the Pharisees like, why are you carrying that mat? Jesus always has a purpose. He is so detail oriented. He knew it was the Sabbath. He knew he shouldn't have been carrying that mat, but let me tell you, God ain't about other people's order. He do what he do when he do it, how he do it, because he's God. And so when he said, hey, I want you to get up and carry this mat, he knew somebody's going to ask you why you carrying that mat. Guess who's going to get the glory? Jesus. Don't play with him. Don't play with him. Jesus is going to get the glory. But if that man wouldn't have got up, there would be no glory. Who was going to ask him anything? Who would have questioned him? He had been sitting there all that time. Nobody noticed he was there. And if he had got up and walked around, he'd have been walking around like everybody else. Nobody would have noticed that he was there. But they had to question him because they saw something different. He's carrying something on the Sabbath. We need to check him. And even when they checked him, and he couldn't even give a name of who did it, they started to seek out like, oh, we need to go find out who this guy is that's not following the rules. And Jesus found the guy and said, hey, I'm Jesus. Go and sin no more. Keep your healing. Do what you know you're supposed to do. Okay? And just so you know, I'm Jesus. Let that sink in. Follow the direction God gives you for your story so that your story ultimately brings him glory. You ain't got to shout it from the rooftops. You just got to follow directions. And when you follow directions, he'll show up. The people will come. Oh, the people gonna want to know. Let me tell you, follow directions. The people gonna want to know what you doing. Who you talking to? How you did that? Where did you go? Who you using? Where you get that from? How'd you find that out? Girl, you must got connections. You see that? Because it's not about if you can do it yourself. It's not about going and getting everything in order and getting it straight and doing it all on your own. No, it's about following the simple directions that God gives you, that Jesus gives to you, and then allowing others to see his glory. Because when we are God focused and we focus on him getting the glory, it ain't about us, even though, like he says, I'll exalt you in due time. People will know who you are if you just do what I tell you to do. It's that simple, y'all. I had to, like, when I saw that story, I was like, Lord, okay, I see you. And there's so many stories. If you know, if you've heard of some Bible stories, maybe you did Sunday school, maybe you're a church goer, or maybe you're not, but you just know some stories you've heard of. Like my last video was about Jonah. You've heard some stories. Those people made history. But there are probably also some stories that you don't know about, but they also made history. Doesn't mean you don't know about them, but somebody know about them. So you're not looking for the world to know who you are. You're not looking for the world, everyone in the world to know your story. There's 7 billion people on the earth. Okay, you don't need 7 billion people. You need the people assigned to your purpose. You need the people who are the audience God divinely designed to know about your story. God needed those Pharisees to see what he did, so he healed that guy with a mat. Now you think everybody out there had a mat? Why didn't he pick somebody without a mat? That ain't for us to know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He does it because he wants somebody to ask you who he is, who did that for you, where'd you get that from, where are you going, how'd you come so far, how did you get your deliverance? That's what that's funny. I was still thinking about that. Why didn't he choose somebody without a mat? Oh my God. Because he's so detail oriented. Oh my God. He knows who to give what to. Stop trying to figure it all out on your own and just go to the one who knows better, who knows best, because he has instructions. And the great thing about him is, though, he has instructions that are tailored to who we are. Y'all don't even understand. He has instructions that are tailored to who we are, the path we are on, the journey we will take. Because everybody's journey ain't the same. Everybody doesn't reach the same. Matter of fact, everybody ain't on the same mountain. Let's start right there. Okay, so everybody is not on the same mountain. Everybody will not take the same path to get to the top of the mountain. Some people are okay with stopping in the middle of the mountain. Everybody don't get to the top at the same time. Sometimes the top for some people is where they can breathe, because the higher you go, the harder it is to breathe, just in case you don't know about the whole altitude thing in mountains. For some people, they may not get all the way to the top, and they may stop a little bit before the top because it's where they're comfortable with that air that they're breathing. They're comfortable there, but their comfortable is not your comfortable. So don't get stuck on what somebody else is doing. Don't get caught up in what's going on in the media. Like I said, not discounting what is going on, but that ain't what this video about. This video is about you creating the story or seeking God's wisdom about how your story should go thus far and from here on, so that he can get the glory. We are making history. What will your history be about? Because is it going to be about you sitting at your house watching the news all day? I'm just saying. Is your history going to be about that time you had put up that one post that had encouraged 3 people? And what is your story going to be about? Take this serious. Y'all take everything else serious. I'm going to need you to take this serious. I know I'm smiling and laughing, but I'm so serious right now. Y'all don't understand that every time I get on to say anything, I ask God to give me exactly what he wants me to say. And then the people, whoever it's for, is who it's for. I am outside of what anybody can say or think, or I'm like over people, because I'm just gonna say what God want me to say. I ain't saving no face. I don't know if y'all seen me say that one time before, maybe not on the video, but I have posted it a couple times. I don't save face. I ain't got no face to save. This is the face I was born with right here. I ain't saving it. For what? Only person I'm held accountable to is the Lord Jesus Christ himself. I ain't waiting on nobody to put me in no pool. When he give me directions, I follow them. And I feel like he's given us, I believe that he's given us all the ability, the opportunities, the know-how, the directions, the provisions to do what it is he wants us to do. And like I said, everybody's journey ain't the same. We are not even on the same mountains. Stop looking at the mountain over there. That's not your mountain. Focus on what God gave you to do. Your story should be making history. And like I said, we're not focused on the world. If you need to narrow it down, let me give you some tips. If you need to narrow it down, maybe you're just in that space where you're like, you know what? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what my purpose is. Then ask God, what do you want me to do today? At least start somewhere, right? Lord, what do you want me to do today? Listen for the directions, because it may be get up, pick up your mat and walk. That's simple. It may be something that simple. Oh my God, that's simple. What is your mat? What is that thing you need to carry? What is something that needs to change in your life so that other people can see it and then be like, oh, God must have did that. Tell me who did that for you. Somebody must be going off they rocker. They doing all of this. What, girl, I don't know what they have going on. Whatever it is they need to say, let them say it. And so then you can open your mouth and be like, yeah, God did that. Y'all don't even know. I got so many stories. I could be on this live, I'm telling you, for hours. For hours. I don't tell you this just because I have nothing else to do and I want to come to you and tell you about, how important it is to follow the directions of the Lord. No, I tell you this because, like I told my husband the other day, there have been parts of my life that have created parts of my story where it was me and God. It was literally a me on the mat and Jesus moment. Nobody else came to my rescue. I didn't have a church that was like, hey, I'm giving you the word. This is what you should do. Okay. I didn't have that Christian friend come hold my hand. I did not go to a prayer meeting. No one came and showed up and said, hey, Christy, let me pray for you. Didn't happen. Jesus himself showed up and was like, child, you need to stop right now. I'm going to need you to change your life today. Stop what you're doing right now. How many minutes have I been on here? I was about to go into my story. I might have to save it for another time because I've been on here for a little minute. Let me see. For real, your story is making history. It's up to you what kind of history you want to leave behind. And again, start with where you are today, right now. You watching this video. Lord, what you want me to do after this video? Who you want me to talk to? Where you want me to go? It's that simple. And then just following directions. But you can be easily distracted when you're focused on what everyone else is doing. Does that mean never watch TV? I'm not saying that. Does it mean never listen to your radio? I'm not saying that. Does it mean never talk to your friends and don't go to church and all? Y'all don't be extra. That's not what I mean. But I do mean getting in that place where you start to develop a relationship or massage the relationship that you're already in with God and learn of him. Because learning of him will give you what you should be doing for yourself. You don't have to seek any other avenues. Don't wait on anybody else to put you in that pool. You can get in on his directions. And that's so serious. Okay, so I keep saying it, but I really got to give y'all this story before I jump off. So when I said earlier that there was no one like there to hold my hand and pray for me, I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on the USS John F. Kennedy out on a 6-month deployment. I was in the Navy. And I had R. Kelly in my earphones. I'm bumping R. Kelly. Yes, I was. And I was braiding hair. We had just gotten off from watch. And the girl that I work with, her name's Weber, I was braiding her hair. And so I'm listening to R. Kelly. I'm going. Not even thinking about anything. It's me and R. Kelly. And in the middle of it all, I hear, your time to stop is now. And I'm like, wait, what? So I take my headphones off, y'all, no lie. So I take my headphones off and I'm like, okay, I'm tripping. Put the headphones back on, going at it. You need to stop now. So I take the headphones off and was like, Weber, you said something? She was like, I didn't say anything. And right then I could feel that something was different and that no one else could be talking to me but God. Like, I just knew. I took those headphones off, asked her, could I braid her hair the next day after watch? And she was like, oh yeah, no problem. Immediately, it was almost like I just felt direction of what to do from that point. And so I took the headphones off, I stopped braiding hair, rescheduled it, immediately went to my rack to get my things to shower. And I go to get in the shower, and the minute the water hit me, it was like a freedom. And I began to ask God for forgiveness for all of the things that I had done wrong. I had left my husband, just like, oh yeah, I'm just done with that whole situation when trying to work it out. Bye. Not my husband right now, just in case somebody watching this who don't know me. But I was married early. And so I left that relationship. I had gotten in a relationship with a girl. I'm like, yeah. Do me. Y'all know how y'all be. Do me. I don't care what nobody say. I'm doing me. Until Jesus showed up in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in the bathroom on the USS John F. Kennedy and was like, you ain't doing you no more. Boo boo. We stopping right now. Nobody held my hand. I didn't have prayer meeting. There was not a pastor on the ship that said, Christy, I'm going to lay hands on you. My Bible was in my rack, like underneath my clothes. I hadn't even opened it, picked it up, nothing. Like, it was just there for safety reasons because I was going out to sea. I hadn't been to church in God knows how long. And this is why, too, I know that people who have a relationship with God have good relationships with people, because God will teach you compassion. When you get close enough to God, oh my God, he will teach you compassion. He'll check you, because if he had to get you out of something, he will let you know real quick. Remember where you came from. That's when your story becomes history. That's when your story becomes the catapult for God's glory. Because I'm telling you my story, but y'all don't even know. Like, that's only part of my story, but only God gets the glory from that, because not myself, not Weber, not anyone else on that ship, not the U.S. Navy chaplains, nobody else came and talked to me. Jesus gave me those directions. And when my life changed, this was my Matt moment. When my life changed, people was like, wait, girl, so you ain't in that relationship no more? What you talking about? You don't like girls no more? What you talking about? How you did that? Because y'all know people think that you can't get out of some stuff. Like that man sitting by that pool. I'm sure people have been passing him like, ooh, he gonna be disabled for a long time. If somebody don't come put him in that pool, ain't no help for him. Child, he gonna die like that. Somebody thought Christy was gonna die like that. Ooh, baby. But when that story turned into God's glory, don't play with him. God can do big things. God can do big things. When you get out of yourself and you realize that your story is for God's glory, you make history. Do y'all know that's a story that I I told my oldest son already, he knows, right? And I have some family members that know as well, but I'm so transparent about who I am because I only answer to God, that this story of mine is going to be history for generations in my lineage. I ain't worried about everybody else's lineage. There are some people who have been affected by my story because I've been able to testify and to tell them about it, right? I've been able to inspire some people to seek God about where they are. I've talked to some mothers who are in confusion and just torn because their children are living that lifestyle right now and they feel like there's no way out. But God gets the glory. That story is making history. The history for me and my children to pass it on. Just in case they ever come up against something and think there's no way out. Just in case they get to that disabling moment and they feel like they don't have anybody to put them in the pool. Boo, you don't need anybody to put you in the pool. Just know God will give you directions. And not only will you have to forget about the pool, because he didn't even tell the man, go wash your feet in it, go swipe your hand in it, go put a little water on your face. None of that. He went all the way around the pool. Just pick up your mat and walk. My kids will know that they can get direction from God. And it doesn't matter what situation you're in. And it doesn't matter how long that situation seems to be taking to come out of. Like it doesn't matter how long it's going on. It's just getting that word that moves you. Getting that word that heals your disability wherever you're disabled at. And when you do it, for somebody to see it and be like, how did that happen? What the heck? Like I like to say, what the chicken little fiddle? What the chicken little fiddle? For somebody to ask, how did that happen? Or why did that happen? Because they were not excited about him moving his mat. Let's just say that. Everybody's not going to be excited about your changes. Everybody's not going to be excited about your deliverance. Everyone's not going to be excited about you moving in your purpose. Everybody's not going to be excited about you telling your story. But who you answer to? Because you don't answer to them. You're not responsible to them. You are responsible to God. I have said this to a couple of people in the past, maybe 2 months, because I've talked to several people about things that are going on and what they should be doing in their life, and even some of my clients. And I've said, when the end comes and God says, remember that time I told you to do this? What's going to be your response? Let's just venture there. Let's just say right now it's the end. And God says, remember, I told you I wanted you to start this organization. Remember, I told you to start working on that book. Remember, I told you to open that business. Remember, I told you to start teaching people about finance. Remember, I told you to start teaching people how to care for their kids. Remember, let's just act like we're there. What would be your response? Because if you don't feel like your response is good enough to get by in the end, it ain't good enough to get by right now. So if your response is, well, my mama had said, my husband told me, my pastor had said, I didn't have enough time. I was waiting until I lost a little weight. I'm just saying, y'all know the excuses can go on and on and on. But if you don't feel like your excuse is going to make it in the end, your excuse does not make it right now. You ain't waiting on judgment, because we're judged every day by God if we are following the directions that he gives us. I'm going to just go ahead and leave y'all with that. Remember that I said your story is to be making history. And it's not just to be making history to be known, but you're creating the story to make history so that God gets the glory. We know of these people in the Bible for a reason. We know of Martin Luther King for a reason. We know of Malcolm X for a reason. Y'all know the list can go on and on. I just use them because of the times we're in. Excuse me. But they were obedient. Obedience is key. Follow directions. Stop looking at everybody else's mountain. Stop looking for everybody else's mat. Let me see what they carrying. Let me see what God doing for them. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let you see what? Let you see what God is saying to you. Focus. Your story is for God's glory. Just in case you need to go and read that scripture, it's in John 5. If you need to go and learn about the guy at the pool. And that's not the only story like that, because Jesus showed up to give a lot of words, but he never showed up to give words without action. I'm just saying. Hmm. There's always action. A whole lot of thinking and sitting and thinking and sitting and thinking ain't gonna get you nowhere. Yes, I use that improper grammar. Ain't gonna get you nowhere. Said it. I said that. She said that. What she said. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump off here. But I had to get on and give y'all those good nuggets that God gave me, and to let you know to get up off your butt, pick up your mat, walk off by the direction of the Lord. Do what it is he told you to do. And just in case he told you to write a book, just in case he told you to use your story for his glory, a story that you've already gone through, I am Christy Gothrow, your storytelling coach, and I can help you tell your story without ever telling your business. There's a way to do it. And then we can put all of that in a book. I like to call it we can put that in a book, all your business that you don't want to tell. There's a way to do it, but there's a way to tell your story without telling your business and putting it into a book where it can help someone else. So if you didn't see the whole video, I'm gonna need y'all to go back and watch. And if you don't already follow me on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, go on there, subscribe, hit the like button for this video, watch some other videos, and be waiting on more videos to come. And I promise y'all, I'll just continue to show up, because I'm going to always just do what God say anyways. So if you don't show up, I will still be there. I love y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll talk to you next time. Don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe. Love y'all.